Hey, it's Ken at Advantage Tutoring. I am trying to figure out, are my glasses crooked or are my ears crooked? Once I say it, you can't unsee it, right? So it's like half the time it's like this. And I think it's my ears. I must have one ear higher than the other. I can't fix that. Back to this. Ken at Capital Advantage Tutoring. A lot of people have a tough time with like total return and the rule of 72. So we're going to try to do both in one video. Okay, so let's talk about total return. Total return is what you earn, it's what your growth plus your any dividend. So you can get a math problem like this, right? Okay, so let's do the math problem on this, and then we'll go and show you what they might ask a definition question. So I'll show you what they could ask on that. So again, 100 shares of JLK are purchased at 30 bucks a share and sold 1 year later for 26. We have a loss. A cash dividend of $2 shares is paid. The total return is okay. So remember, it's going to be your growth, right? Plus any money that you get or minus money divided by the original. Can I spell? Good. There it is. Okay. So it's your growth plus money divided by original. There's a better way to say it, but I want you to have that here. So let's go with this. And remember, growth could be negative. So we bought stock at 30 and we sold it 1 year later for 26. So that's minus 4. Okay. Minus $4. But then we did get a $2 dividend. So that's going to be plus 2, right? So we technically have a return of -2. I may even throw a bonus calculation in here. Now, it's a -2. So what does this mean? So -2 means we lost 2. But now the question is, how do we figure out what the return is? So let's do this. Let's do, on the handy dandy calculator, we're going to do the return, including the cash. So that's going to be -2. You can even just do 2 and then remember it's negative. You can do 2 divided by the original of 30. So that's 0.066. So that's going to be 667% rounded up, right? So I'm going to do -2 divided by original of 30 equals negative 0.66666. So I'll just do 667. Okay. So that's the total return. Again, it's not so hard. It looks hard, but it isn't. You take the growth, you divide it by the original, add the cash, and then divide by the original, and that is your number. Good. Okay, so let's look at this one now. This is more theory. This is a title. Remember, the ending value of an investment less the beginning plus or minus cash flows divided by the beginning, again, is not internal rate of return. It's not inflation adjusted because they don't mention inflation. We'll talk about real rate of return maybe. And the average annual return. No, that's not it. So it's total return, okay? So total return is what you start with, right? So you take, let's just use an example. Let's say you start at 30, you go to 35, and you get a $2 dividend. Okay. Again, this is a question that you can see they may just ask you the definition, but let's show you what it means. Okay. So ending value, we end at 35. So minus 30, that's 5, right? Plus our 2, so that's 7, right? So that's $7 because that's the cash flow 2 plus the growth divided by original of 30. So 7 divided by 30, 7 divided by 30 is 23%. So our total return is 23%. Here's a little bonus. Holding period and total return are the same fucking thing, okay? Total return and holding period return are the same thing. So if this said holding period return right here, you would have been fine also. So if this said holding period or total return, same thing. That's total return. It's not that hard on this, okay? Okay, so let's do another one. A firm is underwriting a preferred issue of ABC. Par value of 120. The yield is 10% and the call price is 150. If held for 1 year and called away, what is the return? Okay, so we got to do a few things here. Now, they specifically said 1 year, so you have to pay attention to that. So what happened? Here we go again. It's, again, ending minus beginning plus the cash flow, baby. Okay, so now 120 to 150. We can agree that that's 30 bucks, right? That's $30. Remember, this is preferred, so it's real. Now, they also specifically said held for 1 year, which means we're going to get the 10%, and it's 10% of par, which is 120. So that's going to be 12 bucks. Okay. So that's a total of $42. So we made 42 bucks off of a $120 investment. So we'll do that again. Total return or just return 42 divided by 120, blah, 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 is 35%. Let's make sure I'm right. 42 divided by 120 is 35%. There you go. So that's again, 3 problems on total return. different ways to do it. Okay. Okay, here we go. Rule of 72, baby. 72, baby. Least understood. Why they use the 72? Beyond me, don't give a shit, but it works. Okay, so let's talk about this. Dale invests 5 grand, and 20 years later, the value is 40 grand. What's Dale's annual return? And if you first look at it, you're like, crap, what the hell do I do, right? How do I do this? I can't figure it out. I'm just going to pick an answer. They normally won't make you do algebra. Remember, I always say, if you're doing algebra, you're doing something wrong. So, because it means you're either misreading it or you're working way too fucking hard. So let's do into this. So we started with 5 grand. And let's just give it a shot to see if this whole 72 thing works. Goes to 40 grand. And that's over 20 years, right? Okay, 20 years. Now, let's work through this. Let's just see if it works out. Let's see if it doubles. Okay. 5 to doubled once would be 10K. Doubled again would be 20. And double the third time would be 40. So it doubles 3 times, right? 5 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 40. So 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 doubles. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 3 doubles. So what I'm going to do is that means it's doubled 3 times in 20 years. So first I'm going to do is do 20 divided by 3 to tell me how many years it takes to double your money. And again, don't do fucking shit in your head. Make sure you do the math. Okay. 20 divided by 3 is 6.66. Okay. Not a good number. I should have picked a better one, but I'll do this. 667. I'll round it up. Okay. So that's how many years for each double. Now, remember, it's not exact, but we're going to do it anyway. Okay. Okay. Now, all you do is do 72 divided by the number of years, 6.667. 72 divided by 6.667 equals 10.79. So that's the rate of return. So this Dale earned 10.79% a year, the average, right? So that's what it is. So the rule of 72 finds out 2 things. One, what your return is over time if it doubles. And the other one we're going to do in a second is what your rate of return, how long it would take to double your money. So that works. This is easy. I think we can do this. Just remember, you find out how many times it doubles. And whenever you see numbers, just double check that it is that. It should work out more times than not that it is clean like this. And we go from there. So now the other side is telling you how many years it's going to take to double. So let's get rid of this. Okay, so here's the other part of Rule 72. So it's all magic, right? So this is where it's going to take how long it takes, not the rate of return. Now you already have the rate of return. So you have to figure out how long it's going to take to double. So let's do this. Dale invests 5 grand at 6%. How many years would it take to reach 10 grand? Okay, so all we're going to do is go, okay, Dale is investing at 6%. Magic stuff. All we're going to do is do 72 divided by 6, whatever the hell that is. It's like 15 or something. Let's find out. No, it's like 12, right? So 72, I have no idea. I'm just being an idiot. Divided by 6 equals, so let's do 72 divided by 6 is going to equal 12. So it will take, if Dale earns 6% on his money, it will take 12 years to double your money. Let's change it up a little bit. What if it was 9%? Just do 72 divided by 9. What's that going to be? 72 divided by 9. 72 divided by 9%. Just a 9 is going to be 8 years. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're trying to find out how many years it takes to double your money. So all you do is do 72 divided by the rate of return, and that tells you how many years. If you want to know what the rate of return is, you do 72 divided by the interest rate. If you want to know how many years, you do 72 divided by the interest rate. If you want to know the interest rate, you're going to do 72 by the number of years it takes to double to get the rate of return. That's the rule of 72. It's not even all that hard. Okay. How about, I'm just making this shit up as it goes along. Real rate of return, a little bonus. Okay. Real rate of return. It's super easy. It's your return minus inflation. Okay. Okay. So let's do a problem here. So a customer bought an investment for 200 grand and then sold it 2 years later for 210 grand. Okay. Inflation was 2% over that time. They don't say per year, so you just got to assume it's the whole thing. And what was a real rate of return? So again, we're going to do return minus inflation. So first thing we do is 200 to 210. Sounds a little like holding period return, right? So 210 minus 200 is 10,000. 10,000 divided by 200 grand. So we're going to do, we made 10 grand, we invested 200,000. We make 5%. Then just subtract the inflation, 2. Boom. So I'm going to do it here. So now we go. We made 5% because that's, 10,000 divided by 200,000, right? Then it goes 5%. And then you just do 5% minus 3 or minus 2. I'm already jumping the gun. 2% equals 3%. So your real rate of return or your inflation adjusted return is 3%. Boom. Not hard. Not super hard at all. Okay. Good stuff. Okay. Another bonus. We're going to do tax adjusted return. So I used the original problem, change a couple things to make it easier. But look what the problem is. This could be an issue. So we're going to try both sides. Okay. So let's say someone's in the 30% bracket. Okay. So now here are two choices. So since it's held for 1 year, we got to figure this out. So let's do it. So let's say we made $30. Okay. So we bought it at 120. Let's do it this way. So technically we bought it at 120. We got called. So we sold it at 150. So we made $30, right? Makes sense. Now we pay taxes on that shit. So since it's held for exactly 1 year, it's a short-term gain, taxed at ordinary income. So we're going to do 30. Now we pay 30% in taxes. That means we bring home 70%, right? If you pay 30% in taxes, you're bringing home 70%. So we're going to do times 70%. 30 times 70%, that can equal whatever the hell that is. Let's figure that shit out. 30 times 0.7 equals 21. So that means we get $21 after taxes, okay? Crappy, right? So now you take that 21, and then divide that by the original. So we take the 21, slide it over here, and then and remember, you still have to figure out the return. So you're going to do 21 divided by the 120. That's what we got. 21 divided by 120 equals 17.5%. So our after-tax return is 17.5%. Okay, not bad. Now, let me see something. So I'm going to show you there's another way to do it. That way works. I like this when it's clean, but you could technically just do it this way. 120 sold at 150, you made 30. Do that divided by the 120. That's going to give me 25%. Then just multiply that times the 70%. And boom, you get 17.5. It's the same thing. Doesn't matter how you do it. A lot of this stuff you can do multiple ways, but that works for this, okay? So that's how you do the after-tax return since it's 1 year. But let's say we change it up and say for over 1 year. Boom, then this changes. The 30% doesn't matter anymore. It now becomes 15%, baby, because that's a long-term capital gain rate. We're going to get rid of this shit. Okay, so we made $30, but we pay 15% in taxes. So that means we're going to get 85% of that because we're bringing home 85%, 100 minus, right? 30 times 0.85 equals 25.5 after taxes. So then we're going to take the 25 point, slide that shit over there. We're going to take 25.5 and we're going to divide it by, I lost track there, by 120. How fucked up is that? 25.5 divided by 120, 25.5. Guys, type slow because I type fast and it screws me up. That'd be after tax return of 21.25%. Now let's try it the other way just to check it up, to check our work, right? We're going to make $30 divided by 120. We know that equals 25%. We're going to take the 25%. 20%. 25 times 0.85 equals 21.25. So we're good. So your after-tax return here is 21.25%. So remember, if they don't mention a time, then you're kind of screwed. But if it's over a year, it's going to be a long-term capital gain. If it's a year or less, it's going to be your ordinary income rate. So you got to pay attention to that. Hope that helps a little bit. That's pretty much 4 math problems that could easily be on the 65 or 66. I hope that helps a little bit. Just trying to drop some gold, baby. I love it. I will talk to you all later.